People have been asking me what my base weight is for when I go out section hiking on the Appalachian Trail and for when I do my self-supported fastest known time attempt on the Ice Age Trail. And to be honest, I've kind of been giving them a guess. So I don't totally know what my actual base weight is, but we're gonna find out today. My guess is that it's 13 pounds. So that's what I've been telling people. Let's see if I've been lying to you guys or not. Also, I'm using the Appalachian Trail as kind of a shakedown hike, so it's to help me get my thru hiker legs back, and also for me to be able to test out all of my gear to see if there's anything that I want to end up taking out or anything that I feel like I actually need that I didn't already bring on the AT. So it's a way for me to test my gear as well. So strictly speaking, this is kind of just my AT gear list, and then I'll redo it and reevaluate for the FKT attempt on the Ice Age Trail. I can say right now there's already a few things I know that are in my packing list for the AT that I'm not bringing on the FKT, like my Crocs. I do love my Crocs, and I'm going to give myself that luxury while I'm on the AT, but I'm not going to have those on the Ice Age Trail. So there's already a few things where I know my pack is going to look a little bit different, and I'm fine with having a heavier pack on the AT. Hopefully that will give me some stronger legs as well, and then have a bit of a lighter pack on the Ice Age Trail so I can just kind of cook it a bit more. But let's start counting. I'm kind of scared. I hope it's not too much off of those 13 pounds I've been saying. I don't know how people normally measure out their base weight. I'm just using like a little coffee scale and a bowl. And hopefully that will work just fine. I'm going to measure everything in ounces. Let's start with the gear, with the most important, the backpack. So this is a new backpack. I didn't have this when I was doing the Pacific Crest Trail or the Pacific Northwest Trail, so I'm very excited to have a lighter pack. And that's coming in at like 228.16. My tent. I also just got a new tent, which I'm very excited about. A Durston. So that's coming in at 17.75. The ground cloth, or like the bottom layer of it, 6 we're gonna go to 6.2 and give myself that extra 1/10 of an ounce. The poles, the stakes, 2.55. My trekking poles, oof, a lot going on. Okay, trekking poles, 19.23. I've got tiny little hair ties, but I'm counting them. I'm counting every single thing I'm bringing. I will usually just braid my hair, and I'm going to use these like little plasticky things to keep my hair in place. That's 0.20 ounces. I think that will be plenty of hair ties for me to break and have to start over again with. Toothbrush. I am not cutting my toothbrush. I just refuse to do it. I don't know how people like use that little bit of the nub to get into like the back of their mouth. I can't do it. So I'm bringing a full toothbrush. That's 0.35 ounces. I am, however, using, if I can find it, little toothbrush tablets for the toothpaste, which I'm really excited about. I haven't actually tried these before on a hike, but they work just fine when you chew on them like toothpaste, and that's going to be lighter than me actually carrying a tub of toothpaste. And this is going to be more than enough for my AT trip. So that's 1.13 ounces. Sleeping bag. I upgraded to a quilt, an Enlightened Equipment quilt that I'm very excited about. And I was always a bit nervous to go with a quilt because I felt like I'm always cold. I'm from Wisconsin and I am literally always cold. And so sleeping at night, like I really like to be able to like cuddle up and cinch myself into a sleeping bag. But I got a 20-degree quilt, which should be more than enough that I need on the AT and definitely more than enough that I need on the Ice Age Trail. I say that now, but it is Wisconsin, so we'll see. But I'm so far really in love with my little quilt. So I changed that. That's a different piece of gear than I had before. And that's coming in, it's shuffling a little bit, but 24.86 ounces. Okay, sleeping pad. I'm not somebody who can do one of those inflatable sleeping pads. Maybe I'll find one that changes my mind, but I need to have like the little one that I can just, the accordion that I can lay out and sit on and then sleep on. It just takes me too long to stuff it back in if it's one of those blow up ones. I guess I'm lazy, but I love this thing. And that's like 14.85 ounces. This is my kitchen equipment, my spork, my very beloved and very used spork. I'm also bringing a Talenti cold soak jar that I'm excited about because I get to eat the whole pint of gelato in there, but I haven't done that yet. I did look it up though, and that Talenti cold soak jar is 1.9 ounces. I am just cold soaking, so this spork is literally my entire kitchen plus that jar. So cold soaking, meaning I'm not going to have any kind of heat source. And that spork is 0.52 ounces. Then my Sawyer squeeze and the little bag for it. My Sawyer squeeze is a little bit old. I might get a new one for the Ice Age Trail, but it will work fine for the AT. And then the bag that I'll use to squeeze that water into my Smart Water bottles. So those two things together are 5.96 ounces. I forgot to pre-measure or to look up what the Smart Water bottles are, so I will just try to edit that in because these are filled with water right now. I'm going to bring 2 of them, and I'm not counting that water as my base weight because no food or water in the base weight, that will fluctuate. But I do have those 2 Smart Water bottles. A headlamp. I really like this one. It's quite bright, which is great. And it can just be recharged, this little like Othemo headlamp. And that one comes to 2.33. I know there are lighter headlamps on the market, but I quite like that one. My phone, I already measured that out. That's 8.6 ounces with the case on. That's just like your standard iPhone 16. And the case, the charger for that, and the block, which I'm going to be able to use just like this regular charger and that kind of cord for basically everything except my watch. So that's nice. Those come to 2.68. I'm bringing 2 battery banks. I'm gonna try this out. I know they're not the most popular brand in the thru hiker world. I haven't used this one before, to be honest, but each of these are about 10,000 of whatever measurement battery packs use. And so together I'll get 20,000 units of battery. And I figured I will try this out, see how long one of these lasts. And then it's also something that on the Ice Age Trail, if I wanted to kind of have, you know, start with a certain amount of battery and then be able to kind of shave that off and like either throw out or like hide in a bush for a bit, those battery packs, it'd be easier for me to do that than starting with one of those larger, like 20,000 battery pack units. I really need to look up what that measurement is. So I'm going to try these out and see how they go. That's another great thing about doing the AT is, again, I get to kind of test that gear a bit. But those two together are 11.14 ounces. Just some hand sanitizer. That's going to change, of course, as I use more of it. But we're starting off, that's at 2.27 ounces. A watch. I just have like a Garmin Phoenix. I don't know how to say it. I should know how to say it. Solar watch, the 7. And that's 3.17 ounces. A bug net somewhere. Oh, already on the floor. Just your standard bug net. That's 0.86 ounces. This is also going to fluctuate, but toilet paper, I just put in what I imagine I'm going to use between resupplies. So that's 0.4 ounces. So again, that's kind of just a general guess, but that's what I think I will need. And then before I resupply that amount of toilet paper. And then also a shovel, because leave no trace, please. 2.91. A bag liner for my backpack. That is just literally a trash bag. That's 0.59. It's fluctuating a little bit, but we're gonna round up between 5.8 and 5.9. We'll say 5.9. This is also gonna be a bit of a test, is bug spray. I know this one's just 30% DEET. I'll probably move up to 100% DEET for the Ice Age Trail because it is going to be ridden with mosquitoes, black flies, regular biting flies, and my least favorite of them all, ticks. So I'm probably going to move up in the bug spray world in terms of the percentage of DEET. This one's just 30% right now, but I'm going to give that a shot and see how it goes. I don't really know, truthfully, how bad the bugs are on the AT. So again, this is just all a bit of practice. So that one's 4.3 ounces. So that's a heftier guy. That's okay. I'm also going to bring pepper spray, which I don't have with me right now because I need to fly down to Atlanta to start the AT, and I cannot fly with pepper spray. But I did look up about how much just like your average little carry pepper spray is, and that was showing 3.5 ounces. Okay, I'm going to bring a pillow. A camp pillow. This is strictly for the AT. I'm not planning on bringing a camp pillow on the Ice Age Trail. But again, I'm having a few more luxuries on the Appalachian Trail. And that camp pillow comes in at 3.81 ounces. Headphones, just the wired ones. Wired because I feel like they're sturdier. And so if they get smashed into dirt or whatever, I just feel like the wired ones have less or like are more durable. And I also don't have to charge them. I don't want to have another thing to charge on top of my watch, my phone, and my headlamp, and the battery packs themselves. So we're just going with the wired ones, and those are 0.43. I also forgot another thing. We're back. Cubby the dog had a barking moment. He was kindly protecting me from the local squirrels. Anyways, what I forgot to mention before was that I'm going to try out like this little solar thing, solar pack, and see if that works. I haven't tried that before on the PCT or the PNT, but I feel like it could be really a beneficial weight addition if it can help me with that battery life on the Ice Age Trail. So we're going to try it out on the AT, and that's 2.85 ounces. I've just got like a little bag for trash, carrying trash. That's 0.4 ounces. I've got some ibuprofen. That weight, of course, will vary as I use it. That's 1.53 ounces. Some chapstick, much needed always. That's 0.31. And then this is something that I'm also debating on bringing on the Ice Age Trail or not, is this food bag. It's not the lightest bag out there, but it's the one I have, so maybe it's something I will have to upgrade on to save a bit of weight. But again, something I'm trying on the AT that might not come with me on the Ice Age Trail. And that's a heavy 3.95 ounces. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, and then for my worn weight, my beloved Crocs. Again, these are just an AT thing. That's going to be 11.44 ounces. Again, just the AT. I love my Crocs. My trail runners, I'm going to try the Topos this time. I really like that they have that wide like toe box, and I'm not someone who can do like zero drop, so ultra is not for me. I road run in Hoka Clifton, so I love feeling like I'm walking on clouds. Like I love that padding, and I feel like Topo, we'll see. Again, maybe I'll change for the Ice Age Trail, but gives me that bit of cushion. It also, because they're trail runners, I have like the grip and then the wide toe box, which I quite like, to be honest. So we'll see how those work out for me. And those are 19.1 ounces. Okay, 2 pairs of socks. Those are 4.76. 2 pairs of underwear and a sports bra is 5.18. I hiked the entire Pacific Crest Trail and Pacific Northwest Trail in a cotton t-shirt, and I've upgraded. Now I'm gonna wear a sun hoodie so I can blend in with the rest of thru hikers. I've done a lot of upgrades with my gear. Before, I was very focused on just saving money and using what I already had and powering through discomfort. But because I'm going on an FKT attempt, going for that speed record, I'm trying to hone in on the weight of my gear a lot more and care about it more than I ever have before. And some of that also just includes function. So I am in the sun hoodie club now instead of the cotton t-shirt club. And that sun hoodie is 6.67. I think I was the only one on the PCT in a cotton t-shirt, but made me unique. Just a pair of shorts. That's 5.9 ounces. My very much beloved rain jacket that I've had for forever and does everything I could need it to do, which is keep me dry. And that's 10.42 ounces. A little puffy jacket that is brand new, and I like want to protect this thing from the trail because I feel like it's just gonna get so dirty, you know. But I really like this one. I think it's gonna be a bit warmer than the other puffy jacket I had that I also had for like 8 years. So the down in that other jacket is like really scrunched together. So I'm very excited to have a new jacket. And that one comes to 11.03 for that puffy. I've got a hat, my Wild Child hat that my godfather got me on the PCT when he came to visit me, and I feel like that's my through hiking hat now. That's 2.75 ounces. A warm buff. I feel like this is just like my emotional support buff, to be honest, at this point. I don't always need it, but it's kind of just there if it's a really cold night, and I can keep kind of that like upper chest neck area warm. That might be another thing that I don't bring on the Ice Age Trail with me though. And that's 1.91 ounces. And then last but not least are just a pair of plastic sunnies. And those are 0.91 ounces. So let's count that up. I'm gonna need my calculator. I don't want to tell you. Okay, I had a moment. I have since taken out my Crocs, which makes me very sad. And my emotional support warm buff. I'm just not going to have the emotional support of the warm buff this time. And that's fine. So that removed 11.44 ounces for the Crocs and 1.91 ounces for the warm buff. My total weight then, so my gear and my worn weight comes to 15.55 pounds. My base weight, I guess if you want to call it, or like my gear weight, is 12.93 pounds, and then my worn weight, so shorts, sun hoodie, hat, shoes, socks, etc., basically taking out like the rain jacket, the puffy, the extra pair of socks, is 2.62 pounds. So 2.62 pounds on worn weight and 12.93 pounds on the gear or base weight for the total weight of 15.55 pounds, which is about 2.55 pounds more than I was anticipating. When I'd been telling people that I had a 13-pound base weight, I meant gear and worn weight. So it's a little bit more, a lot more in the hiking world, if you're adding on pounds, than I had anticipated. But still a whole lot better than I've had on the other two trails. And I will just see how these things go. I don't know. You tell me, what can I take out? What would you substitute? What gear would you trade in? Is there anything I'm missing? I hope that answer is a no, because I don't want to add more weight. But please let me know what you think and any suggestions.